Hey, Paul, how are you? Thanks for joining. Hey, Jeffrey. Jeffrey's really cool. Do you see any of you just see yourself, right? You don't see their comments?
Myself, I see zero viewers.
Hey, Jeffrey, how are you? Well, there's two now. Hey, Hannah, how are you? Thanks for joining. Hashtag live. Hey, Miriam, hashtag live if you're here live, and hashtag replay if you're here watching the replay. Um, so today's guest is pretty exciting. He is, let me show you his name, Andrew. How do you pronounce your last name? Kroeze? Kroeze? Kroeze?
I'm thinking about changing my name because nobody can pronounce my last name right. But it's Kroeze.
Kroeze. Oh, like Tom Cruise. Kroeze.
Yeah. But I
Okay.
get Kroeze, I get all the weirdest names in the world.
Okay, Kroeze, now I know. So, hey, Andrew, we're just going to jump right into it, everyone. Hey, Diego, thanks for joining us. Hi, Andrew, welcome to my group. I'm glad to have you here, and I want my group to get to know who you are. And I know you have something exciting, like I saw you post today about Facebook related things. So I want to hear about that as well. So tell me about yourself and how did you get started?
Sure. Let's go way back. Year and a half ago, I was working a 9-to-5 job, doing IT sales, doing 50 cold calls a day. It was classic, like digital marketing, like online influencer story where I hated my 9-to-5 job. I quit it. I started an agency, an online agency, grew that super quick. And then started growing a Facebook group and started selling coaching programs. And over the past year and a half, I've grown my business to, we should hit about $500,000 this year in revenue. And it's been crazy because a year and a half ago, I was doing about $2K a month from my job. So it's been a big change. And before that, I had no marketing experience whatsoever. And it's just crazy how much you can learn from courses and coaching programs and mentors. Just totally changed my life.
Wow, only a year and a half ago? Your speed is rapid. That's insane. I've heard your name around, so I'm like, oh yeah, Andrew Kroeze is like your name has been tossed around, so it's not like who are you, you know? But yeah. Wow, that's pretty rapid. Only a year and a half ago. So wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's about so you got started with the coaching program. So you actually were able to take coaching and make it scalable, because coaching, and I know from my own experience and from other people, they're like, coaching is not scalable, whatever, like, you know, one-on-one, and it takes so much time and it's such a time suck. So I want to know, like, what, because I don't know, how do you make something like coaching a scalable business to the tune of $500,000 in revenue a year? Like, how?
Sure. So I learned this concept from Frank Bria. If you guys haven't heard of him, he's a freaking wizard at creating coaching programs.
Frank Bria? How do you spell his name? Bria.
Bria. So he's a coach in Project Nuclear. It's a program that I'm part of, that Scott Olford runs. But he calls it the SAM model. So you have skills, accountability, and mentorship. So there's a 3-pronged approach to coaching. So skills are like those video trainings, so courses, that sort of thing. That is very, very easily scalable, but people don't get the results that they need just from skills. They need the accountability next, which is going to keep them on track. But again, accountability is a little less scalable, but your students are going to get a little bit more results. But you can charge a more premium price if you include that accountability. And then the third is mentorship, which is a little less scalable, especially if you're doing one-on-one mentorship with people, but you can charge an even more premium price. So I have a 3-pronged approach to what I do. I have skills. So I have a course on teaching the people skills. And that indoctrinates them into my way of doing things. So now I have a course called Facebook Group Secrets that teaches people how to grow and monetize their Facebook group. So in 8 weeks, it shows you how to grow your Facebook group to 1,000 people and launch your first product, right? And then I have Authority Accelerator, which is my coaching program. It's group coaching. It's not one-on-one. We do weekly group coaching calls. And I have a back end with skills. So I teach all the skills that they need. So if they have any questions that is related to a skill, I can say, instead of wasting time on a coaching call, I can say, go reference this video. And then I'm always building out videos on the back end. So I have Authority Accelerator, that is my main coaching program that only takes 1 hour a week now, unless I'm building out some of the videos. And then the course is already done. I do some tweaks to it every so often. But yeah, it's just so scalable when you have a course and you have a coaching program with accountability, and it's group coaching, not one-on-one. But sometimes you have to start out with one-on-one to be able to fully pull out those problems that your audience is experiencing and work with somebody in that capacity so you can fully grasp their problems. And then your marketing gets better after that. But yeah, using that three-pronged approach has worked really, really well for me.
Oh, awesome. So so it's not one-on-one, it's group coaching with a course. And yep. And what was the third one? So your course, group coaching?
The mentorship program, I'm still putting out. Yeah. So skills, accountability, and mentorship. Okay,
mentorship. Awesome. And I know people try it, they try it and they don't really succeed at, I don't know, making it like that, making money.
Sure.
Coaching, group coaching, even, I don't know, what made you succeed versus a bunch of other people who try and can't even get their foot off the ground, or can, but not be successful at your level?
I think it was the marketing component. You can have the best product in the world, but if you don't have marketing around it that is constantly bringing in new leads, then you're going to fail. Doesn't matter how good you are. So what I used was a Facebook group to attract my ideal client. And with Facebook groups, you get free leads. It's all organic. They find you in the suggested group sidebar. So you don't even have to pay $1 on paid advertising and run out of money and all that good stuff. And you're never hunting down these leads. I enjoy going to conferences. I enjoy going to masterminds and interacting with people, but I don't need to do that to get clients. So when you set up a Facebook group in the right way and you provide just super valuable content like you do, then people naturally just gravitate towards your premium products. Frank Walker, mixing the two names. Jeff Walker, has this idea. I was watching his videos a little while back. He calls it moving the free line, which means when your content is so high quality, and you keep pushing that up and up and up, then you can move your prices up and up and up. People are afraid to give away free information, and that is the worst thing that you can do. People are like, oh, I don't want to give away the farm. Then that means you haven't gone deep enough with your products. So you just need to go deeper into what you are teaching in your premium products so you can push that free line in your Facebook group or email list or Instagram, wherever you have traffic that you own.
Oh, okay. Moving the free line. There's a lot of truth in that. I mean, I'm not in the in the industry as long as you, but for me, when I do give away free things, free software, whatever free, and they see so much value in the free stuff, they're like, well, how much is the paid stuff worth? And hey, Mark, thanks for joining us. Hey, Paul. Hey, Chris. Hashtag live if you hear live, everyone, and hashtag replay if you're here watching the replay. I hear a little bit of static, or is it like rain on your end?
It might be raining. It's been raining in San Diego all day. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay. Hey, Mark Stern. I actually interviewed Mark earlier, like over a month ago, Mark, and he has a summit. So he knows about providing like free and then value.
Love it.
Okay. How was it? My next question. Hey guys, if you're here, ask questions. Ask questions. Ask questions for Andrew.
And after, if you're on the replay, ask questions on the replay, because I'll come back and answer those questions as well.
All right. Yeah, that's so awesome. Thank you, Andrew. Hey, Jason. Thanks for joining us. Ask questions, you guys, or else I'm going to ask all my questions and and oh well. Okay. So, all right. So you said the marketing component is what differentiated you. Now, let me dive a little bit deeper into that. What marketing component are you paying? Like, are you doing Facebook ads? Like, what is your marketing component strategy?
Yeah, no, I have not spent $1 in Facebook ads at all. So all of it has been through my Facebook group. I also get people onto my email list by offering them a lead magnet. And I just found out a few days ago that not everybody knows what a lead magnet is. So it's just something for free that has immense amount of value, like a cheat sheet or a guide or something to give away for free in order to get somebody on a list. So I have a free lead magnet, which is a cheat sheet that gets people onto my email list, which honestly, I don't use that much. Everything is through my Facebook group. And then I get people onto my Messenger bot list with lead magnet as well. So everything has been through my personal profile and my Facebook group, which is, I don't know of too many other people that are doing it that way. And I'm going to be moving towards paid traffic just because that is how you ultimately scale. But I've gotten to a very, very good place with just organic traffic. But I think that is because I've nailed down the 3 Ps for my audience. So the 3 Ps is, number 1, their problem. Mm-hmm. So you got to identify your ideal client's problem, and you've got to talk about it over and over and over, and identify the different components of it can just be a huge mess of different problems. Just talk about all of them. Then number 2, the promise. So you got to know where you're taking your ideal client. So what is the goal that your ideal client wants, and show them that you can take them there. And then the last is the process. The process is 3 to 5 steps of you just showing them how they move from the problem, their pain that they're experiencing right now, to the glory land, to the promise where you're ultimately going to take them. So for me, a lot of people, like, their problems is they have a business that they don't know how to scale. Like, they are burning out. They just need something new, a new model to go after. So I teach them how to get an endless pipeline of clients that want to, or prospects that want to buy from them. And I show them how to create a scalable business model that doesn't lead to burnout. So I talk about those problems that they're experiencing right now. And then I show, the promise for my programs. They're different for all my programs. For Facebook Group Secrets, it's, hey, we'll get 1,000 people in your Facebook group and launch your first product. And then for the Authority Accelerator, it's, we'll get you to 20K months all profit out of your Facebook group in 90 days. So I give a timeline there too with the promise. And then the process is through what I call the salvation method. And Salva. The first S is system. So we set up your systems. We set up your personal profile, your Facebook group, your Messenger bot, your email list, and your business page. And then we move on to attracting your audience. So the second A is audience. And then we move on to launching your first product to that audience. And then we validate that product, and we collect testimonials so we can relaunch. And the last one is automate. So we're going to automate that whole process that we went through for the first 90 days, at the end of the 90 days that I'm working with them. So then I have my unique method to teach people. So when you have a unique method, that differentiates you from your competition. So you have your own thing, and it just, that's your differentiator. So if you nail down your 3 Ps with your audience, then it makes it a lot easier to close deals, scale your business. It's just those 3 things when you break it down.
All right, I've been taking notes. The salvation method and the 3 Ps. You said the next step for you is automation. Let's answer an audience question. Hey, thanks Paula for joining. Thanks Jonathan. #live if you're here live, and smash the heart button. We want people to know this is going on in the group. Paula asks, is that all organic? When you're teaching them, are you teaching them organic methods, or they have to like put out some cash for non-organic?
No, they don't pay for anything except for if they don't have ClickFunnels. I usually suggest that they have some type of funnel builder, sales funnel builder, and then some type of email automation. So I use ActiveCampaign, and then messenger bots. So ManyChat's $10 a month. So no, besides that, you're not spending $1 on ads. It's all freaking organic. And a lot of people that I work with already have those tools. So they're not paying an extra $1 after they join the program.
And guys, I want you to participate. So if you have a specific, because you guys, I know you are all different. Like Chris right now, he has a blog that he's been blogging for a long time. So he actually makes like five figures on his blog as an extra side income. Yeah. And he showed me screenshots of like ActiveCampaign where it's like $14,000 in commission or something. So his path is different than Mark Stern, who have a summit. So guys, I know you guys have all different paths. Ask questions while Andrew is here. And Nick does MLM. Nick just joined. Hey, Nick. And his pathway is MLM and trying to automate the MLM process. Now, how do you actually, my question in mind when I'm like approached by what you just said as a potential client is like, how can you figure out how to automate, when everyone's in such different paths of their journey, or they make money online so differently for their group, like, MLM group, I don't know.
Yeah, it's all about frameworks. Everything that I've been talking about here so far is about frameworks. So I break it down. There are 9 different types of content that you can create in your Facebook group that I've seen. Now, content works a little bit differently for different audiences. So you got to find the types of content that works for you. But ultimately, once you create that content, you can bulk create that content and then have a personal assistant upload that content to your Facebook group. So you aren't wasting, it's not really wasting time, but you aren't spending time in your Facebook group that you can be doing other things that you love. So let's say if you love sales more, if you love just working on the operation side of your business more, all that good stuff. So you can break it down into just automating those processes after you've put in the work to figure out what works in your Facebook group.
Okay, and Chris asked, hey Michelle, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. Chris asked, how much is the Facebook group course that you have? Like, is it already, it's made already, or you just posted about it? I don't know, you finished it.
So yeah, so it's built out. I'm gonna relaunch it again. So I launched it the first time. We got 25 people in. They were awesome, just crushed it. So I'm gonna relaunch it soon. So you saw my post where I said it's coming. But Facebook group secrets is $9.97.
Okay, Facebook group secrets, $9.97, you guys. 997. Hopefully that answered your question. And if you're here, smash the heart button. I am such like an interview person about that now. I'm like in between your answers, like smash heart button, hashtag live.
You're doing great. You gotta ask for the engagement. That's great.
Yeah, always, right? Michelle just hashtag live. Thanks, Michelle. So you said that you would take someone, grow them to 1,000, and have them launch a product. That's where I'm at. Like, that's where I'm at right now. So, but I found a product and I made it and I started talking about it. I mean, what mistakes would I be making as a person who doesn't have your course or isn't going through your training? How would I go about the wrong way? Like, is there mistakes?
Yeah. I see a lot of people burn out in their Facebook group because they're providing so freaking much, but they're not getting anything back. And I feel like you're doing everybody a disservice if you aren't offering something to them of monetary value, because that's what's going to keep you in that group. You can't be giving away free stuff like over and over and over without getting anything back, and being able to really go in depth with people in your premium programs, because people want a step-by-step process. A Facebook group isn't able to provide that, but a course, a coaching program, mentorship can give you that step-by-step process to ultimately achieve where you want to go. So Facebook groups are good to a point, but you need to be offering them something that's more premium, that you put your time into to create a step-by-step process. And that's where a course or coaching program comes in. So I just see people burning out by just growing this Facebook group and not making as much money from it as they possibly can. And then it dies out after 6 months, a year. So you got to constantly be pushing your premium product so you have the time and the energy to put in the free content into your Facebook group.
Oh, that totally makes sense. So are you saying that everyone should have a course? Are you saying everyone should make a course?
I think so. I love online education because I wouldn't be here if I hadn't bought Ty Lopez's course back in the day. Like, that was my first course. Was it? It was social media marketing agency course. So it wasn't even the best, but it sparked something in me there where I was like, oh, it's possible to become an entrepreneur. And then I bought Dan Henry's program, Facebook Ads for Entrepreneur, that gave me the business model, the step-by-step process to run an agency in a very easy manner. So it wasn't like you were doing a bunch of stuff. You were just running Facebook ads into a funnel, into email automation for local businesses, and one campaign a month. And I'm like, holy shit, this business model is perfect. I was able to scale that. And then I bought into coaching. So I bought into Johnny West coaching. I bought into Scott Olford's Project Nuclear Mastermind. And that wouldn't have been possible. I wouldn't have been able to purchase that coaching if I hadn't bought these courses. So it's a step-by-step process. People talk shit about courses all day, but people wouldn't be where they are without courses, because usually people buy their first course and they love it. They think it's amazing. And then they buy other courses and they're like, oh, this is nothing. This is crap. And it's because you already got the skills from that one course. You got the skills that you needed. You just needed the accountability. So buy that course, put your heart and soul into actually producing a result with that course, and then go out, seek coaching to take it to the next level. And then after coaching, seek mentorship to take it to the next level. So I love courses because it's what breaks people out of like their 9-to-5 grind and into the entrepreneur space, which I absolutely love. And same thing with fitness. Like, you don't feel comfortable going to the gym because you don't know how to do those workouts. But if you buy a course that gives you step-by-step, this is how you do these workouts, you feel more comfortable going to the gym. So you need those skills in place first before you can move on up. And that's why I love courses and why everybody should have a course.
Awesome answer. I saw that the movement, you bought a course, and then it enabled you to figure it out, and then you were able to use that to make money in agency, and then you were able to make group coaching, and then after that you were able to go into one-on-ones with these top people, which you can't really get that level of, you can't really get the inside stuff if you're just doing group coaching or you're just taking a course from them that they made for everyone. So yeah, that I can see, like, that's probably the next step beyond having a product, right? Like, if you have an audience, you have a product, that product could be a course or not, but then you have to create a course and then provide that, and then group coaching, and then inner circle stuff. I don't know. Am I getting it?
That's the process. Yeah, that's the magic. So that's all you got to do.
Oh, it's so simple. It's so easy. Hey guys, thanks for being here. #live if you're here live, and smash the heart button or the wow face. Paula Ann actually has some questions. Yay. She said that she loves that you implement and execute though. So she's saying that, other people will take a million courses and not really like execute. And her question is, oh, go ahead.
I would just say that's all about momentum. So like when I actually started like producing results, it's because I changed things in my personal life. I cut out drinking like completely. I set a goal to not drink for 90 days. Because I was 100% focused on actually building my own business. I started working out every single freaking day as well. And I actually ended up losing 20 pounds. So when you get that momentum, like you carry over week after week after week instead of going out on the weekend, and it just kills your momentum. And then you're hungover for a couple of days and you don't put that work in that's needed to grow your business. So the big thing as entrepreneurs is keeping that momentum going and surrounding yourself with those people that help you keep that momentum going. So like my friends group has totally freaking changed since I started with entrepreneurship. I went from drinking every night from my friends in Chicago that were from high school and college to like, I still love those guys, but like I have completely new friends now that are in the entrepreneur space. I know people's number one question is like, how do I find those friends? Like I found almost all my friends from a Facebook group or an in-person meetup. Or just our values just started to align. I started to attract those people when I started changing who I was, because you attract who you are, not what you want. And I wanted to be so much more for such a long time. And then I finally put the action in to actually change myself. So I attracted those people.
I feel like the journey that you've taken is my journey, but a year ahead. Awesome. Like you are ahead of me in my year. I'm like, oh, I'm there. I start exercising every day. I saw, because I got a coach for exercising, it changed my life. Now I'm more fit.
It's awesome. And then you get to meet these people. Like I was just hanging out with Brad Newman and Kyle Lacosta, and they are my age. They stopped drinking at the exact same time, and we're like at the exact same place in our business. And it's like, damn, we just need to be consistent in what we want to do. We set a goal, we're patient, and we're just consistent day after day after day. We're working towards that goal, and we can get there. And I say that there's still days that I fall off and I watch Netflix for 8 hours just because I'm tired. So don't feel bad if like you do that, but it happens. But it's crazy. Just over time, just your life changes. Just be patient with it and be consistent.
That is so awesome. Paula, I'm going to ask you a question since you're here. Guys, thanks so much for being here. And Paula asks, what do you think is the key factor to guiding your students to actually execute? You know what? I kind of want to add to that question. I have my personal trainer. I asked him that same exact question. I'm like, well, what will make you successful, right? And he's like, well, the thing is, if I teach them step by step, that's really not me having success. If I teach them discipline, that is success. And he's like, if they can learn that discipline next time they see a cheeseburger or a donut and they're like, I'm not going to eat it, I'm going to eat something healthy, then that changes their whole thing. And that's when they will actually start listening and showing up and being there. That discipline is what he's saying that's important to teach. I want to hear your answer. Like, what's your answer?
I love that. Yeah. Discipline is crucial. Bringing the right things into your life first is crucial. Reading the right books, all that stuff. And then you can implement discipline from there and surround yourself with the right people. But how do I keep people accountable in my programs, or how do I get them results? It's
how do you get them? Oh, okay, go ahead.
I said that wrong, but it's by keeping them accountable. So I always start my my courses by doing a beta launch. So it's before I have anything built out in the course. I take on usually 10 to 20 people, and I do weekly group coaching calls with them for 6 to 8 weeks. And during the 8 weeks, I'm getting feedback from them, so I can build out, like, I'm overcoming their sticking points in the videos that I'm creating week after week after week. So the biggest thing to actually produce results for people is making them feel like they're a part of a community. So I drop them in Facebook groups, I drop them in messenger chats, and I hold them accountable. So with Stupid Simple Client Acquisition, one of the first courses that I created, it was for helping agency owners get to that 10K per month marker. What I did was I brought in my 3 best students and I said, hey guys, can you run a weekly group coaching call? And then they started running the weekly group coaching calls, and that helped them improve their own agencies, and it helped them give out helpful information to all these agency owners. So it was off my plate, and it was helping the whole community by just bringing in my 3 best students that I created a great relationship with, and they just started coaching for me. So just holding them accountable. I see a lot of people just creating courses and being like, fuck off. Like, that is not my style whatsoever. And it shouldn't be anybody's style. You are responsible for your students' results. I see a lot of people that don't give a shit about their students after they get into the program. I want to make everybody feel welcome, and I want to make sure that they know exactly what they need to do week after week after week. And they feel like they're a part of a community. So that's what actually produces results.
I heard some really good strategies from you. Hey, Omar, thanks for joining. And Dan Frigo is here. Dan is a longtime affiliate marketing guru. Hey, Dan. Dan's like, is the beta free or you charge for it? He asked that question.
Charge for it. People that pay attention.
How much do you charge?
So it depends on what the promise is for your program, and it depends what the market is saying. But I usually charge anywhere between $300 and I've charged from $300 to $1,500 for my beta launch programs, because they need an investment to actually produce results, and your time is going into this. And if you don't charge, you're screwing both parties over. Your student isn't going to be as committed, and you aren't going to get the best results out of your students, which is going to screw you in the end because you're wasting your time. Because the main thing from that beta launch is to overcome those students' sticking points and put those videos that overcome those sticking points in your course. But also to get testimonials from those students. So when you ultimately launch that course or that coaching program, then you have something to work with, because people will buy because of testimonials. Even though there are marketers out there that are selling things because they stand in front of a nice car and stand in front of a mansion that isn't theirs, that is fucking bullshit. People should buy stuff because you actually produce results for your students.
That is so cool. You know what's funny? I started a course And I'm like, oh, well, I don't know. I'm going to build this out, you guys. It's beta. And I charge like $7 for the beta. I'm like, I don't even know how. Okay, here's my question because I'm there. Hey, Dan. Dan says #truth. And Mark says, amen. Amen to that. Guys, you're here. So smash that heart button. And then I'm going to ask a question. So I'm at that point where I'm like, okay, I created something that has results, my app. And then I want to teach other people to do the same thing because I was able to get like monthly reoccurring income quickly within like a couple weeks, to like the tune of like over $1,000 a month. So I'm like, well, if 2 weeks worth of effort leads to this, then what about like a year? You know, what about more? And I want to teach that. And so I charge $7 for my beta group, and I have like 30 people in my beta group right now. But I just launched it like literally last week, Monday. Anyways, that's you're saying that's too low. That's a mistake. But how can you charge 300? I mean, come on. Like if you're coming out of nowhere, how are you able to charge so much?
What's the promise of your program?
Oh, I'm building that out, but the promise is that you will, in the end, get an app that you can sell to have monthly reoccurring income. A lot of times people, it's a Chrome extension class, basically. So a lot of times people don't know how to put it behind a paywall, right? You could just download Chrome extensions and just use them for free. But I teach you how to put that behind a paywall so that you could have monthly reoccurring income from it. And the promise is that, I don't know, I'm building it out.
That is so freaking cool. So that's made you reoccurring revenue of over $1,000 per month, right? And how long ago did you build it out?
The app or the course? The app, I just launched it 2.5 weeks ago to like, when it was 2.5 weeks ago, I launched it to 30 people. And then
the app?
Yeah, the app itself. And then recently I started talking about it more and doing webinars and stuff.
Yeah.
But it within like the span of like literally everything that came in, all the money that came in was like the last week because I started talking about it more. The first sales were like $7 here and $10 there.
That's crazy. So in 2.5 weeks, you created an app that is producing over $1,000 in revenue month after month after month.
Well, it hasn't even been 1 month, so not month after month, but as long as I keep them happy and it's an app that automatically installs and I don't get a lot of customer support questions and stuff like that or any at all. So
that is so freaking powerful. That's incredible.
But that's my promise. And then I want to be able to show them what I did and be like, hey, you can do it too. Because you don't need to know any coding. You could just do it and you could create that kind of thing. Because when you said 1.5 years ago, you were making $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, like you could definitely make more than that, wow. So anyways, that's what my promise is. My promise is by the end of it, that's what you're going to get. And so you get monthly recurring income until you die. I don't know. Hey, Michelle, thanks for joining us. And Dan has another question. So would it make sense for the beta course to be higher value and cost more, then release the recorded course? You can lower the price. So what does that?
Yeah, typically that's not how I would do it. So you want to validate the course first. You want to validate your process first, because ultimately it could fail. You could be like, oh my God, this actually doesn't work. I can't teach this stuff. And then you don't have a product in the end. So you don't want to have a huge price for your beta course. But you do want your student to kind of be a little uncomfortable when they're investing, because then they will actually pay attention and actually they'll actually implement what you're teaching them. We all take cheap things and free things for granted. and you don't want your students to take cheap things or free things for granted. But you also don't want to ask for way too much and then not be able to deliver on your promise because you haven't validated your product yet.
So what do you mean by validating that product? Let's say, I mean, I validated my thing, and then because I take screenshots of the sales, and I'm like, hey, look at you guys, look at this. And so if that is the only validation to do a beta course. My question to help Dan is to like, what is pricing for a beta course? How can you really price it so that they're kind of uncomfortable? But I feel like no one's going to get into my course as a beta tester if I don't make it like cheap. That's what I think. My own mental block or whatever.
And it all starts with your messaging and the results that you're able to produce. This is so new for you. Like, you just created this app and now you're creating this course, which is perfectly fine, which is perfectly cool. You are just in this spot right now where like you don't think it's worth it. That is totally freaking normal. Like, over time, you will feel more comfortable with charging more prices. Everybody starts at this point where they're like, oh, I can't do it. I can't charge more. But just give it time and you'll feel a lot better about it. Everybody goes, this is a phase. Everybody goes through this phase where like they undershoot their prices, and then people have to tell them over and over and over that, no, you need to charge more. You need to charge more. You need to charge more. And then you finally feel comfortable charging more. So it just comes in time, really.
All right. No one's telling me you need to charge more because they're not even showing up for class.
No.
My $7 thing, I'm like, hey, I can actually give you results, but
nobody's showing up?
Well, the thing is, I did a live and within the group, but the group is only like 30 people. Okay, I was in a live stream of a 10,000 member group, and the group is pretty active. Just like an hour ago. I mean, not an hour ago, just right before this.
Yeah.
Maximum, there were probably like 13 people watching out of a 10,000 member thing, right? So for this group, which is like 1,000, like people are coming in and coming out, but live stream is around like 7 people. When you do group coaching to 30 people, to a group that's like 30 people, there was only like 2 people who were there just saying, hi, Kim.
Kitty, there would be more people that show up to those coaching calls.
Oh, okay. Dan says, yeah, my free version had 2 people come, 45 people registered, no one paid, making them pay next. Oh, Dan, tell us what your course is. I don't even know. Anyways, let me know, Dan, because I want to show up, whatever you're teaching. So yes, let's see what my next questions are. If you guys have questions, let me know, and hashtag live if you're here live. And if you're catching the replay, thanks for watching. Hashtag replay. Definitely, I'm going to tell people to catch the replay because you told me something that was different. You were like, to get them engaged, get your 3 best students and have them do group coaching. I think that's genius. That's a really good idea, because then you don't do all your work yourself and you have people who have results from your teaching already.
Yep.
So all you need to do is really focus on like 3 people, get them results, and then see if they will do coaching for you. That's so cool. All right. So my next question is, so, you say you have 9 types of content you deliver to your audience. When you're just starting out, give me some order of content delivery. I have in my mind, I mean, this is what I deliver to my audience. I do some contests, and some of them just fall flat on their face, even though I'm like, $100 cash. Like, no one cares. They're like, they don't even care to even move out of their seat for that.
Oh, and then,
God. Another thing is, okay, so there's challenges, there's cash giveaways, there's live walkthroughs of builds. Like I'm doing, how I want to do a course. So I actually sit there and go through the webinar slides and do a live webinar slide build out with with them like being in the background talking to me while I do it because it's more fun.
Cool.
So those are just some types of content in my head that I give to my audience.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? You said you have 9 types of content. Would you care to share those 9 types, or like secret? Are they like, I don't know, behind your...
I have them written down somewhere, but I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. But starting out, you're going to hate this answer. Just throw shit at the wall. Just take as much content as possible and just throw it out there. Because you don't know what your audience is going to resonate with until you put it out there. Some of my most engaged content has been a stupid quote by like Ralph Waldo Emerson. Like, who would have known that my audience loves Waldo Emerson? So weird. But the most engaging content for any group is typically story content. If you can tell your story, and if it involves life change, you just get a crap ton of engagement, and you can change other people's lives by telling your story. Like, you think you need to give away all these secrets, all this value, all that stuff. People just want to be entertained, man. People want to feel like they're a part of a community. So if you just put your story out there and say, like, a year and a half ago, I was depressed, I was drinking way too much, but like one day when I was hungover, I just ran over to a pizza store and grabbed the free calendar that they had and marked off 90 days. And for those 90 days, I was going to be sober and I was going to lose 20 pounds. But fast forward 60 days and I lost 20 pounds and I was sober for all 60 days. And looked down at the scale in the WYMCA and it said 162 pounds. I started at 182. Like, my life was changed. Like, just saying that there, it's a story. You're giving visual images and it's a little bit more compelling than when I was talking about frameworks earlier, right?
True. Yeah. Like when you were telling me your story, I was imagining the pizza place and looking at a calendar and you marking it off. But go ahead. Sorry.
Exactly. So stories are so fucking powerful. And if you know how to tell a story, you know how to do marketing. That's all marketing really is storytelling. And if you want to check out some decent stories, I wrote 2 over the past couple of days. They're on my personal profile. And just take those types of stories. One of them is more of an informational story. And then another story hits on problem, agitate, solve, PAS format. So basic marketing, copywriting right there. So you start out with the problem that your audience is experiencing, you agitate that problem, and then you tell them the solution to that problem at the end of the post. So yeah, storytelling.
Yeah, I should do more of that. Dan says, I want to teach people how to make reoccurring affiliate commissions and the ClickFunnels dream car. Cool, Dan. Thanks for letting me know. And, you know, I tried, I also did storytelling, and yeah, they are the most engaged things. Whenever I go live and I'm like, yeah, guys, I'm just in my bed and and I have smeared makeup and blah, blah, blah. People are like, well, yeah, life sometimes gets you down. And, and they're like super engaged. But yeah, when I'm like trying to do something tactical, I'm like, you click here and then you click here and it's like crickets, like no one around.
Yeah. And that's the best fucking part about running a Facebook group too. Because you can make like the weirdest freaking videos, like you just experiencing life. But if you put that shit on like Instagram or YouTube, it's like, oh, that doesn't look premium. I'm not going to watch that. But in a Facebook group, people love that down and dirty element of just realness, way more than Instagram or YouTube. So it works a lot better on Facebook. That's why I love Facebook groups.
And you tell the same, you know how Ty Lopez and Grant Cardone and everyone, they tell the same story. They tell the same story over and over again. Do you force yourself to do that? Like, is that something you have to force yourself? Because I don't find it natural. I told my story once, okay? Check the video.
Definitely starting out, you got to force it. You got to say it over and over and over. But at some points, it kind of feels therapeutic once you just keep telling it over and over and over. But like honestly, like Russell Brunson, I don't want to hear about your damn fucking potato gun again. Like it can get annoying. But it works. It helps him make a 9-figure business because he tells his story so freaking well.
Yeah, and yeah, even till now, like the same story. Potato gun. Ty Lopez sleeping on his couch, his aunt's couch on the trailer, and
know it. He's told it so many times that you know it. It's ingrained in our brains now.
Yeah, and like words like knowledge. I'm like, wow, get out of my head. Hey guys, if you have questions, I know you're watching, so let me know your questions. You don't get one-on-one with Andrew all the time. In fact, I don't even know if he offers any one-on-one time, like at all. I don't know. So this is the time to ask, okay? If you're not asking, you're giving yourself a disservice. Just kidding. No, I don't mean that. So my next question, Andrew, is how do you, okay, so that's the same question. So do you currently have a mentor? I know that you went through that whole value like step where you're like group coaching and then you got a mentor. Yeah. Right? Dan Henry. Yeah. I don't know. Dan Henry? Did you coach? Who was your mentor? Do you currently have a mentor?
So my mentors are from Project Nuclear. Those are the mentors that I pay for. So that's a program that runs for 12 months. It's filled with a bunch of 7- and 8-figure earners. So I've just surrounded myself with like great company. But besides that, a lot of people that I've met in Facebook groups have become my mentors. And I've just grown my network to be so big that if I need help with sales funnels, I know the right person to reach out to. If I need help with creating a webinar, I know the right person to reach out to. Same thing with messenger bots or email marketing. So Facebook groups have been so freaking valuable for me and in-person meetups. And at a certain point, your network just grows so big, you know who to reach out to fill that gap in your business. So.
Okay. So Project Nuclear, and it's a 12-month coaching program. And does anyone like talk to you one-on-one during that coaching? Like, I haven't gone to that level. Obviously, look at me trying to make a course, but like at that level, how does it work? Give me some insight. Like, take me a day through a life of paying for a freaking 12-month like high income bracket.
It's intense, man. So they give you the video trainings, like you always need skills, right? They have a Monday.com board to track all of your progress. It's a step-by-step process. You have a weekly group coaching call with a coach. There are in-person meetups once a month. There are group coaching calls bi-weekly that are actually just like therapy, like entrepreneur therapy. It's really interesting. You get a bunch of entrepreneurs together that are like super high level, and you're just looking at all these like influencers that you've seen on YouTube, and you're like, oh, you're struggling with a lot of shit too. That's crazy. Yeah, so those are the components. So it involves skills, accountability, and mentorship. Yeah, it's pretty badass.
That is so cool. You're paying partially for therapy. That really makes sense because therapy is expensive.
Yeah, entrepreneurship is all mindset. If you have the right mindset, you can do anything. So you need that kind of release. Like, it's so good to feel like you're not the only person with those problems, and people like, oh, I dealt with that burnout like 2 years ago. This is how I overcame it. And it's great to surround yourself with those people.
Yeah, no, I'm beginning, you know how since I do interviews, so I get that one-on-one time with people who are like levels ahead of me. And I feel that therapeutic effect just from talking to you, because I'm like, where do I go next? And then you're like, well, you know, this is the next step. And And like, it feels nicer to listen to someone who's gone through it, because then not only is it like, oh, maybe I can do it too, it's more like, okay, there is a way out, you know, like it's not going to be a struggle for too long. And there's this, so I'm getting like the remnants of it just through these interviews.
Exactly. And it's like, yo, we've all been there before. My first course was on a stupid Trello board. I built a Trello board out because I didn't know how to use ClickFunnels for a course. So like, and like, just like you, there were 2 people on my coaching calls. So like, I've been through that before. It's just time and patience, and you get to the next level if you are following the right people and you have the right environment and the right network. So.
Oh man, that is so cool. Thanks for giving us the insight to like top level 12-month coaching program. That's crazy.
Sure.
Hey, Paula says ultimate accountability. And Dan says use paid search for affiliate marketing. Dan, I don't know if that's a question or not. If you can rephrase that. Thank you, Dan. Guys, if you're still here with us, smash the heart button. And Paula says, thanks for this interview, Kim and Andrew. You are welcome.
Thank you.
Let's see, we're going to wrap this up because my interviews are not like take forever. I had one interview that ran for 2 hours. And
it must have been good.
It was with Greg Jeffries. I don't know if you know him, but he teaches this SEO course, SEO affiliate domination. It's been around for a while, and it's like a really good high-end SEO course. Yeah. But I could tell that he's used to a lot of coaching because he could just continue just on and on. And I'm like, wow, there's a ton of value, but I feel like you need to mentally and physically train yourself to be the, you know, like a webinar person. I don't know. Right? So let's see. So we're about to wrap this up, guys. I only have 2 questions left. If you can squeeze in any questions, go ahead. But let's see. Do you have top books? Like, what are you reading like right now? I mean, besides what your mentorship program is forcing you to watch and do, like what are they making you do? Are they making you read specific books? Are you reading stuff outside of your mentorship program? Are you absorbing? How are you handling the everything coming at you, like YouTube and media and learning this and learning that? Like, how do you handle it? Do you shut everything out and just do one thing, or what do you do?
Yeah, there are times when I consume a lot, and there are times where I produce a lot. So over the past, like before this month, I was consuming a lot because I was going through a stage in my life where I cut caffeine out of my diet. And I went from drinking 5 to 8 cups of coffee per day to totally removing out of my life. It was a fucking struggle for like 3 months there. So I was reading a lot of books. One book that I fell in love with and I feel like has totally changed my life. I'm going to a Buddhist monastery in a couple days for a week. And this book was one of the reasons for it. But it's called The Great Work of Your Life by Stephen Cope. And it talks about Dharma, what you're actually meant for, like going back into your childhood and thinking about those things that you really connected with as a child and how that can transfer over into what you do today and your vocation, your ultimate purpose. So that book is really freaking good. The book that made me quit my job was The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, like every other entrepreneur. What else? The Values Factor by Dr. Demartini is really good if you're trying to find your purpose, what you resonate with in life. He asks 13 different questions that help me realize that I don't value travel as much as I thought I did, and I value community and friendship way, way more than travel. That's probably my number one value. So that book is amazing for just kind of discovering more about yourself. So those are probably my top 3 books. And in terms of what do I do, I try to avoid consuming as much as possible, and I tried to produce as much as possible. Because when you start producing, you start to learn more about yourself, and more problems come your way, and you need to reach out to that person to fix that problem. So you need to produce to get to that point to actually find out that that is a problem, and you can't do that while you're consuming a bunch of stuff. So produce over consume, but there is a good time to start just consuming a lot of books, a lot of courses, a lot of coaching, right?
Yeah. Wow. You know, when you tell me your answer, I'm like picturing my life too, and my own journey. And in my mind, questions are like, okay, how do you get to the point where you're reading things about meaning and existence and what's really important to you and what's not? You know, like, is that just the result of finding some success first? And like, because your answer is kind of different than people who are still trying to, you know, figure it out a little bit. So it's like now you're reading for enjoyment, for you know, a deeper meaning.
Yep.
Even though finding a deeper meaning and that yearning for a deeper meaning is the reason why a lot of people build a community, right? Like, quit their 9-to-5. It's because they want to create their own future and their own life, and that search for meaning. Yeah, so in my head I'm like, okay, you probably, that's so lucky and so awesome for you that now you're like, well, I don't have to worry about the bills, so I'm gonna go to a Buddhist monastery and like and really search deep within myself, like what makes me really happy. Like that, reaching that point must be awesome.
Yeah,
anyway.
No, it feels great. I went through that survival mode, through that, oh, I gotta pay the bills. Oh, where am I gonna live this month? And I went through that period of time, and I wasn't thinking about, oh, what makes me happy? Like, what's my ultimate purpose? But it got to the point where I moved from survival mode. And the reason why I was able to move from survival mode to thriving was because I built up money and momentum. When you're in survival mode, you just need to focus on revenue generating activities and build momentum for yourself. And then when you do that, you're able to transition into this thriving mode. And when you do build up that money and momentum, naturally you attract a new set of a new network that can help you during your thrive mode, through like wherever you want to go in life, wherever you want to take your entrepreneur venture. But there are a lot of people still stuck in thriving mode just because, or in survival mode, just because they haven't built up their money and momentum and finding a way to do that. And then you hit thriving mode where you're just trying to figure shit out. It's a different problem. It's like, oh, what do I actually want to do with the rest of my life? Like, I'm comfortable financially, but like you reach this point where you're like, oh, money isn't everything, but I've been searching for money for so long and getting to that place where I have money. And I was talking to one of my friends, or just met this dude last week, who ran a hedge fund, and at 26, he made $1 million in a month. And he said, yo, my brain just broke. I thought I was going to be happy when I had all this money. I was fucking miserable. So he had to go through this transition phase into like, what actually where do I find meaning in life? And what he discovered is he loves bringing smart people together. So he teaches people how to run masterminds. And his ultimate goal is to bring in the top billionaires in the world that have just built these huge businesses to ultimately solve the world's problems right now, like global warming, like the melting ice caps, like homelessness, all that stuff. So he had to go through that period where he was just surviving, then he went to thriving, and he found more of a deeper purpose. But that came in time. That came over a decade. So.
Wow. You know, the way that you answer my questions, it really, I could tell you're really good at storytelling because I'm like traveling through that storyline mentally myself, because I mean, I am kind of living it. I'm like behind you, but I'm living it. I actually gained financial freedom and the ability to work for myself like 5 years ago. So I've been kind of like willy-nilly, like traveling and then not finding a lot of like not really seeing that that's what brought me happiness when I travel with friends or when I travel to meet friends there, like in China or Thailand or where else. That's when I'm like the most happy because I'm like surrounded by people. And then I would jump from group to group to group, like complete strangers, just immersing myself in these groups of strangers and different environments and traveling through that process. And still I would like be sad that I'm just not really impacting anyone, or I would just be watching Netflix for like a long time, and I'm like why aren't I happy? Like, what's going on? Like, what the heck?
This
And
is
then
what I wanted, right? Yeah.
yeah, like, and he must your friend must have, like, I mean, if you could make 1 million in a month and still not be happy, that's
Yeah.
that really brings it, like, that really makes it real. Like, wow.
Yeah.
So like, do you think that like everyone's journey from struggling to financial stability to financial abundance, do you see that trend in your surrounding, that you're, the people that you're with, or is that the general trend, or is it different for everyone that you meet? I don't know.
No, that has pretty much been the trend with all the high level entrepreneurs that I've met. Where I mean, you hear all these stories from influencers and digital marketers, like I was sleeping on the streets, and then I bought this one course, and then like I built this $1 million business. Didn't happen that quick. We went through a lot of times of just like falling down and all this shit, but it is that general trend of like, oh, I'm just trying to survive, to like, oh shit, what actually brings me purpose. There are just these different stages, and then ultimately, hopefully in your 30s or 40s, if you're in your 20s right now, like you want to be at that spot where you're building a business that actually means something to you, and a life that means something to you. Like, just in general, like your 20s is a great time to just figure shit out. Like, a lot of 20-year-olds are just like confused as fuck. So it's totally normal. Um, it's just staying consistent with doing the right things, the things that you need to do to go where you want to go. And that's why I'm trying to spend a lot of time with myself at this Buddhist monastery and figure out what actually means something to me. So like moving forward, I can focus more of my time and attention on those things.
Yeah, and hey guys, hey Moment, thanks for joining us. And smash the heart button and hashtag live if you're here live. But we're wrapping this up. I only have one last question, and I think what you touch about, like the mental stuff, I feel like that's what you get once you reach financial stability and abundance. But to even travel on that road, I feel like you really have to do a mental shift and a mental change. Like, because for me, things were hard. Like, getting up in the morning was hard, and doing the things that needed to be done were hard until mentally, like, I was searching for meaning. Until mentally, I had a taste of the thing that you're immersed in now, right? Like, I had like a little bit of taste of that. Then that's when all the physical stuff,
that's when the
no
momentum.
longer barriers, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And do you teach that? Like, is that something that, like, because I feel like when I ask you that question, how do you get people successful in your course? Do you teach a lot of mental stuff to get them successful? Or, I don't know, like, I guess I'm asking too many questions at this point, but it's a curiosity for me.
Yeah, there are usually I like to hit 5 or 6 super important points, depending on where that person is at. So like my Facebook group secrets course will attract a different person than my Authority Accelerator course. So there needs to be different mental components in each of them. But with my Facebook groups course, it's more like one thing that I really harp on is done is better than perfect. Because I see a lot of people like not even start their Facebook group because they're like, oh, I need to make the perfect welcome video, or I need to make the perfect banner, or I need to have the perfect name. No, you just need to get started. When you get started and take consistent action towards your goals, that is when you will start gaining that momentum, when you start seeing things change in your life because you are actually taking action towards your goals, and it doesn't need to be perfect. So yeah, the mental component is freaking crucial.
All right, that gives me some ideas on how I should craft out my beta people. Instead of like click here, click here. Like you need to change your mind to change your life. But I don't know.
Exactly. It also, yeah, I love it.
Hey Faz, thanks for joining us. Okay, last question. So I want to ask you this question because I ask everyone this question. It's the 30-day question. If you, Andrew, were to lose everything and you don't have your courses and you don't have your things, how would you start over? Let's say you still have your home and I don't know, some kind of budget.
I would do it the exact same way I did it before. I would start a Facebook group. I would start attracting a community, putting the best content out there possible so I can create those programs those scalable programs that can really change people's lives and get as many people in there as possible. If you just own as much traffic as possible and put the content in there that your target audience resonates with, it makes it so much easier to sell a coaching program or a course. But yeah, Facebook group and just valuable content.
All right, guys, you heard it here. And I'm glad that you stuck with us, you guys. Thanks. Hey, Matt, I'm sorry that you're joining us right when we end, Matt, but you can watch the replay. And that's it for today. I'm going to click Andrew, I don't know if you're familiar with Be Live, but if I click end broadcast, it ends it to the audience, but we're still in the lobby. This is the lobby. Yeah. And so I can still talk to you and whatever and say bye to you separately versus saying peace out, cool. Peace out. Okay, so I'm going to click that right now. Thanks so much, you guys, for sticking out this long, and have a great night or morning or whenever you're watching this. Oh, yeah. If you like that video, then you will love all the resources that I have over at kimcdang.com. That is KIMCDANG.com. There you will find all my courses, my extensions, all the offers that I have, as well as a lot of free resources if you are just getting started.